Imagine this scenario. You're in a discussion at work, at home, or even in a WhatsApp group. Someone criticizes your choices or questions your intentions. You try to explain, argue, and justify yourself, but in the end, nothing changes. On the contrary, you feel even more drained, frustrated, and without peace. How many times has this happened to you? This type of situation is more common than it seems. And here's the truth, no one tells you. Not every battle is yours to fight. Many times we waste energy trying to convince people who don't want to understand, or dealing with situations that were never designed by God to be part of our path. And worse, while we're fighting these battles, we stop investing in what truly matters, the purpose God entrusted to us. Did you know that spiritually, there are distractions created solely to derail your focus? It's no coincidence that Jesus taught us in Matthew 7:6, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine." This teaching is an invitation to wisdom. It reminds us to be selective about who we share our energy, time, and even our dreams with. In today's video, we'll explore 4 pillars to transform your spiritual journey, why protecting your spiritual energy is essential, the traps of trying to justify yourself and how to avoid them, the transformative power of silence as your greatest spiritual defense, how to stay focused on your divine purpose, even amidst distractions. I'll also share biblical reflections, everyday examples, and practical exercises to help you apply these lessons in your life. Before we begin, I want to know, how do you deal with situations that drain your peace and energy? Write in the comments, because your experience can inspire others facing the same challenges. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you can keep receiving content like this. We're here to grow together, strengthen our faith, and draw closer to God. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me as we discover how silence and discernment can change your life forever. Your spiritual energy is like the battery of your phone. It's essential for you to operate at your full potential, but it's limited and needs constant recharging. Now think about this. What happens if you leave several apps open at the same time? The battery drains quickly and you end up without energy for what truly matters. That's exactly what happens when you waste your energy justifying yourself, arguing, or trying to please people who are not ready to understand what God is doing in your life. Jesus was very clear in Matthew 7:6, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine." This means not everyone has the ability to understand or value what you carry. Trying to share your light with someone who isn't ready can be not only pointless, but also harmful. Why do you need to protect your spiritual energy? Your energy is limited. Like a candle that burns continuously, your energy can run out if you don't protect it. If you waste it on the wrong situations, you'll have less left for what truly matters, your spiritual journey and divine mission. Not everyone is spiritually ready. Some people, being disconnected from God or influenced by negative energies, cannot understand or value what you share. They may distort your words or even use them against you. You need strength to fulfill your mission. God gave you a unique purpose, and you need spiritual energy to accomplish it. Wasting that energy on unnecessary battles takes you away from the path He prepared for you. A biblical example, Martha and Mary, Luke 10:38-42. One of the most powerful lessons about protecting your energy lies in the story of Martha and Mary. While Martha was busy with tasks and distractions, Mary chose to sit at Jesus' feet and listen to His word. When Martha complained, Jesus replied, "Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." This story teaches us that protecting our energy means choosing what truly matters. Like Mary, we need to prioritize what edifies our souls and strengthens our connection with God. Think about a time when you tried to explain an important decision to a coworker, a family member, or even on social media. Perhaps it was about changing jobs, dedicating more time to your spirituality, or distancing yourself from toxic influences. Instead of support, you received criticism or judgmental looks. How did you feel? These types of situations are exactly what drain your spiritual energy. What happens when you don't protect your energy. You feel emotionally and spiritually drained. Your inner peace is stolen, and you begin to doubt yourself. You lose focus on what truly matters, your connection with God and your mission. Practical tips to protect your spiritual energy. Set clear boundaries. Not every situation deserves your attention. Learn to say no when necessary and prioritize what edifies. Strengthen your connection with God. Dedicate daily time to prayer and meditation. The stronger your relationship with Him, the easier it becomes to discern what deserves your energy. Choose your battles wisely. Before engaging in a discussion or justifying something, ask yourself, will this build my spiritual journey, or will it just drain me? Protecting your spiritual energy isn't just an act of self-love, it's also an act of obedience to God. When you understand that not everyone has the capacity to value what is sacred, you begin to prioritize what truly matters. This keeps you firm in your divine purpose and at peace with your journey. How many times have you felt the need to justify your choices? Maybe it was something as simple as explaining why you decided to spend more time with your family, or something deeper, like prioritizing your spirituality. You speak sincerely, but the other person doesn't seem to listen, or worse, distorts your word. This cycle of trying to justify yourself is dangerous because it not only drains your energy, but can also pull you away from the purpose God has placed in your life. And here's the truth. Trying to justify yourself to someone who's unwilling to understand is like trying to fill a bucket full of holes. It's pointless. Why is trying to justify yourself dangerous? It drains your emotional energy. Every time you try to prove something to someone, you're giving away a part of your precious energy that could be used for something more meaningful. It fuels cycles of confusion. Some people are not interested in understanding. They want to argue, criticize, or twist your message, creating more conflict and doubt. It diverts your spiritual focus. When you dedicate time and energy to unnecessary battles, you move away from what truly matters, your divine purpose. A biblical warning: Ephesians 6:12. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." This means that the resistance we face often isn't just from the people around us, but from spiritual forces that aim to derail us from our path. These forces use situations and individuals to sow doubt, exhaustion, and confusion, trying to rob you of your peace and direction. Think about an argument on social media. Maybe you posted something about your faith or a new habit you're developing, and someone commented critically or sarcastically. Your first reaction might be to explain or respond, but that only prolongs the conflict. In the end, you feel tired and frustrated, while the other person remains unchanged. The three biggest traps of trying to justify yourself. The illusion of approval. Many times, we think that if we explain ourselves well enough, the other person will accept or support us. But this doesn't always happen, because some people lack the ability or intention to understand. The cycle of distortions. Some people deliberately twist your words to create more confusion or escalate the conflict. This isn't just emotionally draining, it's spiritually dangerous. The danger of losing. Focus on your purpose. Every minute spent justifying yourself to someone unwilling to listen is a minute you could have used to strengthen your connection with God or work on your mission. How to avoid the traps of justifying yourself. Here are 3 practical steps to avoid falling into these traps. Use discernment. Before you justify yourself, ask, is this person truly interested in understanding, or do they just want to argue? If the answer is negative, choose not to engage. Choose silence. Silence is a powerful response. It's not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. By remaining silent, you preserve your peace and disarm any attempt to provoke conflict. Trust in God. Remember, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. God knows your heart and your purpose. His approval is all that matters. Jesus before Pilate. When Jesus was unjustly accused and brought before Pilate, he chose silence as his response. In Matthew 27:14 we read, "But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. This silence wasn't passivity. On the contrary, it was an act of complete trust in God's divine plan. Jesus knew that truth doesn't need defense because it always prevails in the end. A piano teacher was once criticized by someone who didn't even know how to play the instrument. Instead of responding, the teacher smiled and remained silent. When asked why he didn't react, he calmly said, "Because their opinion doesn't change my skills, it only reveals their own ignorance." This story illustrates the power of silence. It keeps you in control and prevents you from being dragged into unnecessary conflicts. Practical reflection. The next time you feel pressured to justify yourself, pause and reflect. Will this build my spiritual journey, or will it just drain me? Use the discernment God gave you to choose your battles wisely. Justifying yourself to people who aren't ready to listen is a battle you don't need to fight. By avoiding these traps, you protect your peace, preserve your energy, and stay aligned with your divine purpose. Choose silence, trust in God, and remember, not everyone is called to understand your journey. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the power of silence? In a world where everyone wants to be heard and words are often used as weapons, silence becomes a powerful and transformative spiritual tool. But silence is not passivity or weakness. On the contrary, it's a conscious act of strength, wisdom, and self-control. Silence is not just the absence of words. It's a choice, an intentional action by someone who understands they don't need to fight every battle or prove their worth to those who are unwilling or unable to understand. Why is silence so powerful? It preserves your inner peace. Choosing silence instead of reacting helps you protect the serenity of your heart. In arguments or conflicts, it's natural to want to prove something or win the argument. But in the end, what truly matters is not winning a debate, but maintaining your peace. It connects you with God. Silence creates a sacred space where you can hear God's voice. In Psalm 46:10 we read, "Be still and know that I am God." When we silence our minds and hearts, we open space to discern God's will and feel His presence. It disarms conflicts. Silence has a disarming power. When you choose not to react, the fuel of the conflict is removed, like extinguishing a flame by taking away its oxygen. Without a response, provocations lose their strength. Imagine you're in a work meeting and someone makes a provocative comment aimed at destabilizing you. Your first reaction might be to defend yourself or push back, but instead, you choose silence. What happens? Without your reaction, the impact of the other person's words diminishes, and the situation often resolves itself without escalating. Biblical example: Jesus before his accusers. When Jesus was falsely accused by religious leaders, he chose silence. In Matthew 26:63 we read, "But Jesus remained silent." This silence was not a sign of weakness, but of complete trust in the divine plan. Jesus knew he didn't need to justify himself because truth always prevails at the right time. Why is silence a spiritual defense? It blocks negative forces. Silence cuts off the fuel for negative energies that thrive in conflict. When you choose not to react, you interrupt the dynamic of the attack. It helps you reflect before acting. In moments of anger or frustration, we often say things we later regret. Silence gives you time to breathe, pray, and make decisions aligned with God's will. It preserves your spiritual energy. Every word spent in pointless arguments drains a piece of your spiritual energy. Silence acts as a shield that protects your strength for what truly matters. How to practice silence intentionally. Here are 4 simple steps to incorporate silence as a spiritual tool in your daily life. Breathe before reacting. When you feel the urge to respond, immediately pause. Take a few deep breaths. This brief moment helps you avoid impulsive reactions and create space for reflection. Pray in silence. During this pause, ask God for wisdom to understand the situation. Ask, "Lord, what would you have me do in this moment?" Choose your words carefully. If you decide to speak, choose words that bring peace and build up rather than adding fuel to the conflict. Trust in silence. Remember that silence is also a response. It demonstrates strength, confidence, and wisdom. Don't feel pressured to react just to prove something. A metaphor for silence. Think of silence as an invisible shield. When someone throws negative words or criticisms your way, they hit this shield and lose their impact. Silence not only protects you, but also reflects your spiritual maturity. A man was once questioned by a harsh critic who repeatedly tried to provoke him. Instead of responding, the man remained silent. Frustrated, the critic asked, "Why don't you respond to my provocations?" The man calmly replied, "Because your words don't define who I am. They only reveal who you are." This story illustrates the power of silence. It keeps you in control and prevents you from being drawn into unnecessary conflict. The spiritual impact of silence. It strengthens your connection with God. Silence is an act of faith. It says, "God, I trust your plan. I don't need to fight or justify myself because you are my defense." It reflects your inner light. When you choose silence over conflict, your inner peace shines even brighter. Those around you notice this light, and it can inspire them to follow your example. It keeps you on the path of purpose. Silence helps you avoid distractions and focus on what truly matters, your spiritual journey and your divine mission. Silence is not the absence of action, but an intentional choice of wisdom and spiritual protection. It preserves your peace, aligns your heart with God, and disarms the negative forces around you. The next time you feel pressured to react, remember, silence is your best spiritual defense. Now that we've explored the importance of protecting your energy, avoiding the traps of justifying yourself, and using silence as a powerful spiritual defense, we arrive at the most essential point, your divine purpose. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I here? What is my purpose? This is one of the most profound questions you can ask, and finding the answer can completely transform your life. We were all created with a unique purpose. You are not here by chance. God designed every detail of your existence with love and intention. Your purpose is the core of your spiritual journey. It's the compass that guides your decisions and keeps you on the right path, even during difficult times. What is the divine purpose? The divine purpose goes beyond what you do. It's more about who you're becoming in your walk with God. It's about growing spiritually, serving others with love and wisdom, letting the light God placed within you shine into the world around you. Your divine purpose isn't a material or fleeting goal. It's eternal, and every step you take toward it brings you closer to God and the fulfillment of your life's true meaning. Why is it so easy to lose focus on your purpose? We live in a world full of noise and distractions. Social media, other people's opinions, comparisons, criticisms, and even our own fears can pull us away from what truly matters. The enemy knows that by distracting you, he weakens your connection with God and distances you from the mission you were created to fulfill. Imagine you're focused on developing an important project that you feel is part of God's plan for your life, but along the way, you start comparing yourself to others who seem more successful or further ahead. This comparison discourages you and makes you question whether you should continue. This is exactly the kind of distraction that tries to drain your energy and divert your focus. Why is staying focused on your divine purpose essential? It provides clarity. When you're aligned with God's purpose for your life, your decisions become clearer. You know where to invest your time and energy and what to let go of because it doesn't contribute to your mission. It strengthens your faith. Walking in your divine purpose draws you closer to God. Even in moments of doubt or hardship, you feel the security of knowing you're fulfilling His plan for your life. It shields you from distractions. When you're focused on your purpose, criticism, comparisons, and challenges lose their power. You understand that your mission is greater than any temporary distraction. How to identify and align yourself with your purpose. Here are 3 practical steps to discover and live in alignment with the purpose God has for you. Pray and seek God's guidance. Dedicate daily time for prayer and meditation. Ask God, Lord, what is your will for my life? How can I honor the purpose you've placed in my heart? God answers in subtle ways, whether through His word, a sense of peace, or even circumstances that confirm your path. Focus on what builds you up Ask yourself, does this decision bring me closer to God? Does it strengthen my faith? Does it help others? If the answer is yes, it's a sign that you're aligned with your divine purpose. Avoid distractions. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every criticism deserves your attention, and certainly not every opinion should be taken seriously. Staying focused on your purpose means ignoring what tries to pull you off course. A biblical example of staying focused on purpose, Jesus, is the greatest example of someone who remained focused on his divine purpose. During his ministry, he faced criticism, rejection, and even persecution. But even in the face of adversity, he never lost sight of the mission God had given him. In John 6:38, Jesus declared, "For I have come down from heaven, not to do my will, but to do the will of him who sent me." This statement reflects the strength of divine purpose. When you understand your mission, nothing can divert you because you know you're living for something greater than yourself. How to stay focused on your purpose in a noisy world? Here are a few practical strategies to keep your focus. Take daily moments of silence and prayer. Set aside at least 10 minutes each day to connect with God. During this time, quiet your mind and ask Him for clarity about your priorities. Create a spiritual map. Write down what you believe your purpose is and the actions you can take to fulfill it. Place this map somewhere visible as a constant reminder of where your energy should be invested. Surround yourself with encouraging people. Be close to those who share similar values and encourage you to stay firm in your purpose. Trust in God's plans. Even when you don't understand the path, remember that God is in control. Proverbs 3:5 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Practical reflection. Ask yourself, am I investing my energy in what truly matters? Or am I getting distracted by conflicts, comparisons, or fears? If you realize you've been distracted, don't worry. God always gives you the opportunity to realign yourself with the purpose He prepared for you. Your divine purpose is the greatest gift God has given you. It's the reason you're here and the foundation of your spiritual journey. When you remain focused on it, everything around you starts to make sense. So let go of distractions, avoid unnecessary battles, and direct your energy toward what truly matters, your connection with God and fulfilling the mission He has called you to. We've reached the end of this reflection, but the lessons we've shared today are just the beginning. This is the start of a deeper journey where you can protect your peace, align your energy, and focus on the divine purpose that God has given you. Let's recap the 4 key pillars. Protect your spiritual energy. Don't waste your light trying to illuminate those who aren't ready to see. Your energy is a gift from God, and you have the responsibility to use it wisely. Avoid the traps of justifying yourself. Not everyone is called to understand your journey, and that's okay. Practice discernment and know when to step back in silence. Use silence as your best spiritual defense. Silence is not inaction. It's a demonstration of wisdom and self-control. It protects you, strengthens your connection with God, and disarms negative forces. Stay focused on your divine purpose. You were called for something greater. Don't let criticism, comparisons, or distractions pull your attention away from the mission God created for you. A final reflection. Now, I invite you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, where am I investing my energy today? Am I prioritizing what truly matters, or am I being distracted by battles that don't build me up? The Bible encourages us in Hebrews 12:1, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Think about this. What are the weights you need to let go of? It could be a draining relationship, a never-ending argument, or even the need to prove something to others. God is calling you to release these burdens and run freely toward the purpose He has prepared for you. A practical challenge for you. Take a moment to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Write down 3 things that have been draining your energy lately. It could be a situation, a person, or even a recurring negative thought. Now, pray over these situations and hand them over to God. Ask Him for the wisdom to deal with them and the strength to move forward with focus on what truly matters. On the same paper, write 3 things you can start doing today to protect your peace and align your life with your divine purpose. A prayer for your journey. If you allow me, I'd like to close with a special prayer for your journey. Lord, thank you for reminding us of the value of our spiritual energy. Teach us to protect what is sacred, to choose our battles with wisdom, and to trust in your plan. Give us the strength to use silence as our shield, the courage to let go of what doesn't build us up, and the focus to fulfill the purpose you have placed in our lives. May your peace guard our hearts, and may we reflect your light in everything we do. In Jesus' name, amen. An invitation to continue growing. If this message spoke to your heart, don't keep this reflection to yourself. Share it with someone you know who needs to hear it today. Send them this video, tag a friend in the comments, or even start a meaningful conversation with someone close to you. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our future content. Here on this channel, we're walking this spiritual journey together, learning, growing, and strengthening our faith. A final reminder for your journey. Remember, your energy is precious, your peace is a treasure, and your purpose is sacred. Don't let anything or anyone pull you away from the plan that God has for your life. Use silence and discernment as your spiritual shields, and stay focused on what truly matters. You were called for something greater. Live that truth every day. May God bless you, guide you, and strengthen you with every step of this journey. See you in the next video.